Hi and welcome. This is chapter 4 of the Basic Quadcopter tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to program your ESCs so that you don't crash, and then I'm going to show you how you install the KK board on the frame, as well as the basic settings you have to apply in order to fly this. So the first thing we want to do is program our ESCs, and therefore we have to use a programming card. You can use your transmitter, but this is really complicated. So that's why I'm going to use this Turnigy programming card. It's pretty simple, pretty basic, and I'm going to program each ESC step by step. And the first thing you want to do is connect the ESC to your programming card. So you attach it and want to make sure you got the lineup right. So the signal is on the far left, and then you're gonna connect the battery, your main power connection. So again, here are the settings. Brakes are off, battery, you gotta change that. Soft card low. Starting mode to normal, timing mode to high to prevent some clocking noise on the motors. And governor mode off. Confirm the settings. Settings are confirmed. And then turn off the battery power. And repeat this process for all others. Okay, for the next step you're gonna need these little nylon screws with these spacers, and of course you're gonna need the KK board. As you can see right here, I've got the low voltage alarm connected to my main power source, and this is going to be under the KK board. And when mounting the KK board, you want to make sure that you have the buttons on the KK board to the back of your quadcopter orientation, which means that here's my front, the buttons have to be on the bottom, or the display has to be on the top. However you want it, this is the way you have to mount it if you want to fly forward in this direction, okay? Next thing I'm going to do is screw on these 4 nylon screws. I'm going to use these screws as well as these spacers, but maybe I'm going to just leave them right there. I'm going to test it out. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the spacers away. Next step is to connect your ESCs in the right direction, so that each ESC has its right place on the KK 2.0 board. In order to power your KK 2.0 board, you gotta connect your main battery to the quadcopter. And now there's no input at all, so you want to make sure you connect ESC number 1, which should be the front left motor. And I'm just going to try it right here. M1 is this one right here, and the ground is on the outside, so this is the way I connect it. So the next step is to connect M2, which should be this motor right here. Third motor should be this one. And the fourth motor should be this one. Okay, so once you got all the ESCs connected, you want to get into the menu and want to go down all the way to load motor layout. You want to enter this, and then you want to scroll down to whatever you want. I want a quadcopter in X mode, in X configuration, so it choose that and hit enter. Are you sure? Yes. So now it shows me the mode layout. So this is mode 1, which should turn clockwise. This is mode 2, which should turn counterclockwise. This is the mode 3, which is supposed to turn clockwise and counterclockwise for the fourth motor. So next we got to connect our receiver to the KK board using these wires here. I bought them from Hobby King and there were like 10 in there, and it saves a lot of time soldering these. So they are male to male, and when you connect these, you want to check out the mode on your transmitter in order to connect it the right way, and then you can start it. So channel 1 on my receiver, channel 2, and then there's channel 5, and you might be wondering why we need a 5th channel. This channel is for the switch for changing from the auto leveling function to normal. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is check if our transmitter has to reverse any channel, and that is what we're going to do next. So we hook up our main battery. Make sure your transmitter is on. Now we want to enter the menu and go to receiver test. Hit enter. So aileron is on the wrong channel. Elevator is on the wrong channel. So pretty much this is really messed up. So what I'm going to do now is unhook each channel. So once you got that, you want to make sure that you don't have to reverse the channels, as I said. And the way I do this is I just move the sticks on my transmitter. So aileron. So this is right and this is left, but I'm moving my stick the opposite direction, so I have to reverse that channel. Yeah, and now it's moving right and left. That's perfect. My elevator is also reversed. So back, forward. My throttle is idle and full. That's perfect. And my rudder is left and right, and that's okay as well. So my auxiliary, I gotta check which switch it's on. Okay. My auxiliary is okay as well. And now we want to calibrate the throttle range on our ESCs, and therefore we have to turn our transmitter on, put our stick to full throttle, and then we have to connect our main battery source to the KK board by pressing down buttons 1 and 4 on your KK board. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm pressing down 1 and 4. Now it's initializing. Takes a few seconds. Now you can check if the motor start at the same time. So I'm going to arm the copter. It's armed by putting the rudder to the right when the throttle is at 0. And now I'm going to start the motors. And as you can see, they all start at the same time, so it worked pretty good. The last step we have to do before we are able to go into our first test flight is that we have to balance our props, and this is pretty important to reduce vibration on your KK board. And what I've got is pretty basic. It's a simple prop balancer, and it's just this part. I think it's $2 at Hobby King, and what you do is you take your prop and then you attach it to the simple prop balancer. Make sure it's just tight, you don't have to snug it up. Then you have to put it between something that's a little higher so you can see where it tends to. And as you can see, I have to put some sticky tape or some film on this side to balance it out. So that's what I'm going to do now. And I put some tape here, so it should be better. And it's still off. Some more tape on here. And now it's pretty good for the quadcopter. Just a little more. And that is about perfect. That's where we want it. Okay. And then we're gonna repeat this process for all 4 props. So now we've got our props balanced, and now we're going to put them on our quadcopter. So there's one last step I want to show you, how you can make sure that your quadcopter is reacting in the right way. Therefore you have to have your props off, because otherwise it's really dangerous. There are a lot of injuries that happened because people wanted to test a quadcopter or a multi-rotor while having the props on. So you plug in your main battery when your transmitter is on. You arm your quadcopter, you put in a little throttle, and what you want to do is, when you have the throttle on, is check if the motor is reacting the right way. By if you're pushing it down, the motors on the side that you push down should speed up, okay? So test that. That's pretty perfect. So I'm going to turn it off, unarm it first. And now I'm going to install the props. So before I can enter the test flight, I'm going to glue this on to the board, get all the wires out of the way. I'm going to tighten up the props and then we are ready for Chapter 5 and the first test flight. So thanks for watching and feel free to subscribe.